And we are live.
We are live.
Excellent. Good to be back.
Indeed. A little
Yeah.
bye week last weekend, and now
Did you
we're
do anything for last weekend, or was it just a bye week?
total silent weekend.
Got it.
And
Got
then
it. Cool. Yep. My
goes,
electricity was out, so
yep,
all
yep.
day basically. So, uh, yeah, gotta go with the flow though.
Can't make music when your electricity's out
Not
unless
true. I actually
you
sat
play guitar the
here
whole
in the
time.
dark and played guitar. So,
And I do like the when the power goes out, it's kind of like like you have a physical, or at least around here, because there's so much, wires and everything. I can feel just the energy is shifted to like calming, almost like a winter in the middle of the winter night, no wind and like snow, so it dampens
s-
everything.
stillness. Yeah.
It's very still after the power goes out, almost like just like a weight
Interesting.
off your shoulders.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, here it's a little opposite actually. It's like it gets extremely dark and it almost feels more threatening. So, but that's I live in the country, so
Right.
yeah.
Like you're a part of nature now. Like you're like, this is what it would be without electricity.
Oh yeah, it would be terrifying. I mean, I think I've mentioned before, like my mom talked about visiting her grandparents' house where they didn't have electricity, and she talked about how creepy it was at night, like walking around with an oil lamp and stuff. Like, I mean, it gets pitch black out there, and you're in the woods, and yeah, like it would be freaky, man. It's like no wonder they all believed in ghosts and everything. So
Yeah. Make sure your door's locked 3 times. Just,
yeah, she
yeah.
said that house is haunted too.
Whatever's going on with hauntings or aliens or government, whatever it is, something's happening weird to people across time. And whether the government is involved, who knows, because it's been going on for thousands of years. You've seen, depictions of I think that's probably why you like, that the Lores podcast, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
because I love how so Joe Rogan just changed his description to dragon believer, because on The View, that lady Joy something,
Mm-hmm.
she said that he believes in dragons and blah blah blah, all this. So he changed his his description of dragon believer. And it's just funny because there's a lot of truth to the, oh, that's hogwash, there's nothing to that. But if you think of biology and what was possible once on Earth, like there could have been legitimate fire breathing reptiles that could combust. Like scientists have theorized that it's possible for amazing things to happen. And so I think the world is probably a lot more magical than normal people want to give it credit for.
Yeah, I definitely think more mysterious. I think there's a modern, like it's a very modern interpretation of like the cosmos that we that everything is intelligible right now and that we kind of understand everything, and that's a very modern idea. I think that previous generations of humans embraced kind of the mystery of things a lot more and
Right. Even I think the Industrial Revolution kind of
Mhm.
embodied the sense of, let's strip away any type of curiosity our humanity has and go straight balls to the wall production and
Results, yeah.
results. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. Keep making it better, make it better, make it better. Instead of like, hold on one second, step back for a moment and reflect. I don't
Mhm.
think there was much reflection at all after 1845 ish, right? I mean, we
Mhm.
probably before then, well, we have what Galileo started doing his late 1800s, right?
Oh, way earlier.
Or late 1700s.
Way earlier.
Oh, 16, yeah, 1680,
So,
80,
sounds right.
1680s.
Possible. I thought
I was
Galileo
200
was
years
in.
off.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I guess Copernicus was in the 1500s, and Galileo drew off him, and Kepler was in between them, I think. So,
So I was, I still have been doing more research of this local area in Beverly where I grew up.
hmm
Uh, and
Yeah, that
And
has a
it's,
long history
well, I mean, it's the
for American standards.
for American standards, right? I mean, it's kind of mind blowing. If you think about, in 1620 in Plymouth, Massachusetts, we landed, and then just 16 years later,
Hmm.
John Balch moved up to Beverly and built his land, and he bought him and the settlers at the time purchased Beverly and Gloucester and Cape Ann, essentially all these plantations that were already being farmed by the indigenous people, the
Hmm.
Namkeg. And so the Namkeg sold it for like 3 pence, uh, and then got paid on the year 1700, which was like 10 years after the actual deal was made. And then so the settlers actually settled onto land that uh, was already there, like already had farms set up, already had all types of and people used to think that that area was more hunter-gatherer situation, nomadic people,
Hmm.
but they had all this stuff like hooked up for these early settlers, and then it started flourishing right off the bat. Like they were able to create things and spread out faster than ever. Like it's kind of mind blowing
Hmm.
reading some of the really old documents of like or maps rather of areas that are connected to documents of like uh, people who like were pirates had their own like houses, but they weren't considered pirates as they would be now, right? They back in the day,
Privateers, right?
privateers, right?
Yeah.
And the first privateer was launched out of Beverly. The
Mm.
first one built, and the forest that they used to build the boat
Hmm.
was the forest that I always walk around, Selly Milligan Reserve, and I grew up right
Mm.
next to it. So like it's kind of cool, like think like going back in history and going, holy shit, in the middle of this land right here, in the middle of the forest where there's all these trees, this was actually the original common, and it was all cleared out. And people used to go there and trade and do all kinds of stuff in the 1700s. Like,
Hmm.
and so when I'm like metal detecting out there or whatever, or just walking around, I'm like, dude, there's probably so much history just beneath us that has been forgotten because
Hmm.
since the Industrial Revolution, no one cares to look back at what's actually there. They're always moving forward. And it's almost like what generation's going to go back and truly unearth what was one of the most historic, if not the most historic place in the United States. Uh,
Mm.
it's kind of amazing because only I've never seen anyone else metal detect out there or anything like that.
Yeah,
They're always just walking around. They're like, I'm gonna
yeah,
go for my walk, and
that's what I was gonna ask. Like, what's the constraint? Like, what's holding us back from doing
I
so?
did
You
it.
know? Like,
I
yeah,
did
it's
it.
just
I've already done it. I plan to do it again. It's
a
just
a lot of people aren't interested in history. Like, honestly.
I think that's the culprit of industrial revolution.
Mm.
I think that really dampened our curiosity as as humans in general,
Mm.
and so
Well,
in
yeah, there's nothing
yeah.
productive in there's nothing really productive in understanding like what daily life was like for a colonial person or something. But I find it extremely interesting, but like you can't there's nothing productive you can really do with that information.
So for me, what keeps me honestly curious is not a plate that I might find and go, wow, there's a design on that plate, and that could have been, from 1825. That doesn't, I don't care, honestly. If I found a plate, I'd be like, cool, give it to a museum. It doesn't, but what triggers me is finding like really old, like coins or something that's
Hmm.
tangible that was used at that time, or something, an artifact that truly has meaning, that's not corroded to hell, that actually maintains some of its original
Ah.
that's what gets me going, like, wow, because it's littered. It's, they talk about how they trained and for essentially the Civil War in this one field, and over and over and over and over, and no, there's no like evidence of people go combing over the Beverly Common for metal detecting, or maybe they've done it back in the day and they combed the entire thing, and then that's what it is. Like everything's already been found or something. But I couldn't find anything that people would ever attempt to go do it. I don't know. It's just an interesting
Hmm.
dilemma that I wonder if it has happened and I just am not aware of it and just it's 2024 and who, you know, it happened in 1973. They went out there and
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. I'm sure there's still a lot in the earth to be found. I mean, it's not like we've exhausted that for certain. So
Yeah. But yeah, man, we should jump on to some music stuff unless
sure, yeah, interesting
hell yeah.
conversation though.
Yeah, a little bit of history talk to start off Composer Dome.
You know what? I put up curtains
Do your
and
thing. Yeah, yeah, do your thing.
let me move them to get that sun out of my face
Yeah, I'm
real
gonna grab
quick.
grab a water too.
All right. Okay. All right. So, yeah, music. What have you been
What
up to
does
this
the
week?
Oracle have? Oh, music wise, actually I could share a track real quick that
Sure, I have something to share as well,
hell
actually.
yeah.
I know, crazy. I actually wrote something outside of Composer Dome.
uh okay, let me switch over my audio first. Bam.
There we go.
So yeah, me and Jamie collaborated on two tracks. Basically, or it's pretty much three tracks, but you know how tracks get when
Jamie, electronic music,
yeah, it's
yeah,
like
like psytrance kind of stuff.
no. Actually, well, one was electronic. I'll just jump into it. Actually, this is a really good. You could define what you would consider this genre to be, I suppose.
Okay.
All right, let's get in here.
Yeah, we should talk about Logic too because it updated and they introduced that's what I was mentioning before. Logic had disappeared from my dock, but not because of the big update. Like I haven't done the big update yet, but Logic updated apparently, and it updated with a new reverb module, which is kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. Unless mine didn't update.
Hmm.
I didn't notice any. Actually, you know what? Now that you said that, it did scan. I remember seeing it scan the VSTs again when I opened Logic, and I thought, that's weird. Maybe that was the computer update. So I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
I tried the new reverb. It sounds really good.
Damn.
It's pretty cool.
It and it's just built in a Logic. So it's
Yeah, it's like a Logic standard one. Yeah.
damn. They I mean, they were getting they heard about ROM and replica and they're like we got to step up our
Step up their reverb game.
actually the first thing I want to do is look at it. Okay, so let's see what do we got? Oh, Nverb? Oh no,
No.
Quantec Room
Yeah,
Simulator?
that one.
Whoa, this looks fancy
Yeah, it's really good.
pantsy.
It's really good quality. I used it in the composition that I'm working on.
Quantec. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to definitely test that out.
You're a reverb fan, reverb head.
Oh, I love reverb. Okay, so you can you know, make your own call on what this genre is, but here we go. Let the first thing trigger. Classic piano ending.
Yeah, I like the ending. That's good. Cool.
Just a classic track, just one of those
Yeah, yeah.
hard to find a genre though.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I think part of the problem, or not problem, but like the interesting thing is that it has so many genres in it, right? There's definitely some electronica influence. There's definitely some down tempo influence. There's definitely some pop, and there's definitely some kind of hybrid with some like
Yeah.
very mild orchestral elements. Kind of hard to define. Um,
Well, you just did perfectly, really. I
Yeah, but
mean,
like, well,
yeah, 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 I
it's hard to
gotcha.
define in a single word, right?
Right, right,
I
right.
guess I would have to say like electronica, but that wouldn't be very descriptive. So,
New
yeah,
Age? I don't know. I just tried, you
I don't know. Soundtrack, maybe. I mean, as far as
soundtrack.
application, I would definitely see this playing on like a YouTube video about doing something. Like,
Dolphins.
no, like this is how you uh
Oh, how to.
prune plants or something. Like, like I could definitely see it playing in something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's very commercially
Commercial,
sounding. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
poppy.
Commercial, I guess. Commercial. But
Yeah,
but then it does go into other non-commercial things. So
yeah, but
like
it's
the
like it's got
and
it's got energy so that it keeps your attention, and that's why I think a YouTube video would be perfect for that, you know.
it, and interestingly enough for this track, just to throw a curveball, so this entire track was made with Beat Breaker Instant Triplet. So
Mm.
the real track, I'll just turn that off real quick and I'll play just a tiny bit. Sounds like
Turn it back on. Oh wow. Oh, it sounds so much better. It
isn't
sounds
that
so much better.
it's incredible. And the reason why is because the very beginning, that compared to without it on.
Yeah,
And so it adds this extra layer of
it's syncopated.
complexity. Right,
Syncopated. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Or triplet. Yeah. Or it's forcing all audio in the entire track to go to triplets
Wow, that's cool.
right
I
here.
didn't even know that existed.
It's a pretty cool little thing. Like if you have something that's really a track that's high pitched and fast, it's fun to throw that on just to see the results. And then sometimes they surprise you, and that's what we do. Is like, oh shit, let's just use the
Yeah,
whole thing. It's the first track I really had that thing on there, the entire length of the track, and not automated.
that's really cool. It's
Uh,
also really well mixed, and every instrument is extremely well chosen, but that's par for the course for you. So
yeah, this was like at
a
least
lot.
four hours of
Yeah, I was about to say it's
stuff.
clear you took a lot. You took your time and made it right, which
What,
is,
what we did was, which is pretty cool. We've never even really done this. I think we've done this a couple times, but I just had him click the remote control, and then there you go. And then he would just, control Logic in the Zoom meeting, do whatever, and then I would jump in and control Logic, and then we just
oh
switch back and
wow,
forth. Yeah, I didn't realize Zoom had such really good remote control. Uh,
really?
yeah,
Oh
check this
wow,
out. So I'm gonna go like this, right? I'm gonna click Wyatt Freeman, and you should have a pop-up somewhere now or actually just try clicking around on a track. Isn't that crazy?
holy crap.
It kind of changes things a little bit if we want to explain something exactly or open
Oh yeah,
something up or
no, no, I'm talking about this. It's like you could
exactly,
actually,
exactly. You just take over the
wow,
mouse real quick and yeah. So we tried that and it worked out
that
flawlessly
is
and no
that is
issues.
nuts, man.
Yeah, Zoom
Well,
has some pretty
what
cool.
about MIDI? Like,
Same thing. I mean, you literally have control over everything in a normal Logic project.
no, no, I
Just
mean like, yeah, like my MIDI controller doesn't work, obviously.
oh no 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 no. The MIDI controller is not going to work. But
Right, but
yeah,
I
you
could
could
create,
add extra
yeah.
MIDI and put the notes in or whatever. Or if yeah, exactly like talking about
Wow.
the note here. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is crazy. Wow, I had no idea.
Hell yeah.
How do I give you back control?
I just start using it again. So I got control now.
Wow, that is cool. I did not know that.
And let me
That's amazing.
I'll turn it off for now just in case it goes back. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's that track. And the only other thing was something
Orlando Raccoon.
yeah, this I don't even I think this was a more of an electronic crazy sounding track. This might sound insane. So, but we're going to play it anyway. That's what Composer Dome's all about.
That's what we do. Yeah.
Sometimes it's
We've
good.
played worse, I promise.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And we haven't uploaded the worst of the worst.
That's true. Yeah, my first one was a disaster. Like,
I had that disaster too. The very first thing where I had like one track with with like a
oh
piano or
man.
something.
Oh
I forget
man.
what it was.
The first Middle Eastern one, I botched the drums so bad. I spent like the entire 10 minutes trying to get the drums down. So bad.
Uh, okay. This I will see. This might. Oh, see. Oh, okay. So this was the
It sounds like that's the base of the track, the other track. Yeah.
right. So I'll skip forward to like this part. This is where it changed. So so it was just so abrupt, and I was like, man, what I need to make this more. So I said, hey, let's take this track, let's strip out all this electronic crazy vocal stuff, and just make a 3 minute normal kind of
Yeah.
track as normal as possible, just
Yeah.
to clean it up. And because when you go down the road or rabbit hole on roads like this, it's it's a hit or miss, man. You either get the gold or it's just you're
S-
down further into hell.
Sometimes it works. I think most of the time when you attempt like a big mood shift, it usually doesn't though. That's my experience. Like,
Mo- exactly.
yeah.
Uh, and I mean, there's the last thing. It's not that. Well, I did so I had a producer nightmare uh last weekend or the weekend before that.
Oh.
So yeah. So what I had was I had to take a track and try to master it as best as possible, but the original track was horrendous audio quality.
Hmm.
So
Is
it's
this an
almost
old track of yours or?
it's not. So this is one of Jamie's friends, and he had a rap track,
Hmm.
and so we put a little bit of strings over it or whatever. I'm gonna turn this volume all the way down because it's gonna be loud as hell. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but right here where it starts is where I'm trying to make it sound okay, and it's just impossible. You'll hear what I mean.
How dare you challenge a rapper like me? You know it's gonna end badly. So why the fuck you talking?
This ain't no diss, but when I drop it, guarantee it. I just pop the guarantee it. I'm inside his crib. He just talking all that shit on it.
Okay, so you hear how
Wow.
the bass is crackle McNackle.
Oh man, it is
It's
so
it's
clipping. It's ridiculous.
so I had the original file, right?
Hmm.
Believe it or not, the original file was clipping right
Oh,
out of the gate at 5.6. Oh, well,
oh,
I mean, of course, believe it,
yeah, I believe
but
that. It sounds
but
like
I
it.
had to take that because that was the only audio file that existed of the thing, and they just wanted to make it, like sound as
You can't reverse that. Like once it's clipping, you cannot put
oh
enough
no,
lipstick on that pig. Yeah.
but what I can do is what I did do is I made sure that it wasn't actually clipping. Like it sounds like it's clipping, but it's not clipping.
Well,
That's the best that I could think of
yeah,
to
yeah.
do in that
I I
situation.
see
You know
what
what I
you I
mean?
see what you mean. Like you're dropping the natural volume of the clip that you are given so that your meter says it's not clipping, right?
Right.
But
And
the
then I'm
prob
exporting that because
yeah, it's the best you can
before,
do, but the problem is it's like the reason that clipping is bad is because of digital distortion. And so the digital
yeah.
distortion's still present in this. It's just you can't hear it as much or like yeah. So
So but then there's another thing where for some reason to the and it's not my track obviously and it's just samples that the rapper had used and used on BandLab and like made the thing uh but the real the real thing is like the rapper thought it's awesome, right? So in this situation, I'm just there to kind of like try to make it sound listenable in a car. If it's never going to be, in my opinion, I said this Bushido style. I said this, I said I don't think this sounds good. I think this is clipping. This is like horrendous.
yeah.
But I'm going to do the best I can to make it not be horrendous in a car compared to what it is now. And that's all I did. I put a master on it, essentially, a Logic Master, and I
You
threw
could
a
you could look at some of the isotope tools. They have audio cleanup tools. There
right
might be something in there, and also something else. This might have a ton of DC offset, so you might remove the DC offset from it as well.
DC offset.
Yeah, it's like
I don't
a
even know what that is.
it's like a audio artifact that's unwelcome and it's in a lot of crappy audio. So and you can remove it in like Wave Lab. I'm sure that Logic has a way to do it as well, but yeah, it
Interesting.
might be something worth trying because if it's this bad, that means the people who made it don't know what they're doing.
Oh,
So,
of course. It was literally made on a phone using BandLab,
oh well,
and
okay,
so it's like, yeah, exactly. I'm legitimately trying to polish a turd.
yeah,
And so the best way I can polish it is just to maybe put a clear coat of lacquer over it so it doesn't
yeah,
smell as bad. I really don't, So I wanted to
yeah.
just show you this just because it's a weird problem that I'm sure a lot of producers have had in the past where
Oh, 100%.
I
It's one of the reasons I think being a producer would be such an awful day job is to have to deal with, and I'm not saying that it's the case here. Like I'm not saying that that's true for this individual, but a lot of times you're dealing with like really egotistical people who do not want to hear bad things about what they've given you. And so
Well,
like you're
well,
yeah.
I made it clear right off the bat before like I met or we had the meeting. I said right off the bat, I go, hey, I am looking at this like a Japanese businessman. I will tell you right off the bat if I like this or don't like this, if I think this is wrong or right. That's just how I'm going to be in this situation. And so the rapper guy, he was like all always like, okay, okay.
Mm.
Never really went against the grain too much because if you step back and look at it, it's like, okay, I'm the guy that's supposed to be making the track better. The rapper's just kind of going along like, okay, yeah, that's probably good because the producer's saying that's good. And
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
have that
yeah.
level of
So where did he get the music? How did he
so on BandLab, there's it's kind of like Splice. Do you know what Splice is?
like stock audio basically that
It's
you
community
mm.
loops and samples and kick drums and
Okay, so
little
he didn't
stuff. And
produce this at all. He just rapped over it basically.
he dragged in, well, what he did
Yeah.
was he what happened really is he took in a audio loop of like some rappage, and then he increased the pitch of it upwards. So right when he does that, you're looking at nightmare situation because you have a nice mixed sample, and then you're raising the pitch because he didn't want it to be recognizable, but you're raising the pitch so much that
Oh,
you're taking those high ends and fucking pushing them through the roof. You're taking those low ends,
yeah.
and now they're more like mids, and so
Well, yeah, man. I mean, if he's serious, I would suggest like just get you to produce some stuff for him. I mean, you can make hip hop,
oh,
so like,
right, right.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I again, I said, I'll totally do this, but as best as I can, but I'm not really a hip hop maker as much. I don't make many hip hop tracks, so
Yeah, not many. I've heard some that you've made that would definitely work though. So
Sure, sure, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Or he could just send you the audio files and like you could mix it and master it, right? Or something like that. So
That's
yeah.
what we tried doing, and he only had that
The
one
original
audio
version.
file.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
that's all it was in. And yeah, if
Yeah.
I had the original samples,
Yeah, yeah. You could
then I
totally
could.
salvage it. Yeah.
So I made this for him in like 10 minutes, and I'm like, to me, this would sound better to rap on than that, in my opinion. But again, it's also style. It's not, because he wants this real heavy bass
Mhm.
sound.
Playbox.
Playbox. I mean, that's where my brain goes right when I hip hop these days. Just
I would, to me, that seems a little sluggish. I would actually make it a little faster. But
faster.
yeah, like by 10 or so, or maybe more. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea right there.
That sounds closer to the kind of the speed that was the last track.
Yeah, it was really slow actually. Yeah. Vocally, it'd be much easier to rap to something like this.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't. There's room for the voice to take center stage in the mix, whereas the other one was really full with a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff. So
and it's a hit or miss, and plus there was he had a vocal uh effect or whatever in BandLab for the vocals themselves that made it like almost impossible to mix too. And so yeah, in my opinion, when if I'm ever gonna make more hip hop stuff, I will be controlling the trackage, and you give me a clean vocal source, and I'll do my best. Kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
kind of dealy.
Yeah, and like I hope like I never met the guy or anything, and I hope what I said earlier wasn't too harsh. Because like when I first started making movie or music, man, my tracks were clipping like crazy. I mean, I didn't like so
Yeah,
yeah
he's 24. So it's not like he's been making
yeah
music for a long time. He's
yeah yeah
he's messing around on his phone. So it's
yeah
like
yeah.
I'm
I
just
I, I was
helping the
there once.
dude
I
out.
promise. I was like I didn't know
We
all this stuff at
all
one
we
point. So
all were there
yeah,
at one point. But yeah, man. So you got some trackage?
I do. Last Saturday, kind of a weird story. I woke up and I for some reason I like woke up and had this idea in my mind like I want to write a soundtrack to the island or the Isle of the Dead, which is a famous painting from the 1800s. I don't know, maybe I must have been dreaming about it or something. And so I pulled up the picture and like just kind of looked at it for a while and then said okay, and then just started making a track. And so I'll kind of explain why I did it. And it probably
I'm
sounds
just
a little weird.
I'm just pulling up the picture. Just
Oh,
taking a
I'll
look.
display it. I have it up.
Okay, okay. Whoa, dude, that's kind of trippy. Remember that I made a render that looks real damn similar to this.
Really?
Yeah, like very similar to that with the rocks and the trees in the middle and literally the boat right there on the beach, but on
Hmm.
mine it was on the beach. But yeah, that's kind of weird. I gotta pull
I
that thing up.
I guess I love this painting, first of all. It has an eerie, kind of otherworldly, really mysterious, as we were talking about
M
before, vibe.
Megalithic.
Yeah, but it's not like excessively dark and gloomy either. It's a lot of white and light, so it's this interesting combination. And then,
Oh wait,
there's
I'm looking at the Basel version, 1880.
you don't see the one I have up on screen right now?
I do not.
Damn it.
You're only sharing logic.
Yeah, can I just share the entire screen?
Yeah, I think it's the top left.
There
There
we
it
go.
is.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at a different version.
Yeah, there are. It was a really famous painting, and so he released different versions. This is the one I prefer though, because of what I was just mentioning. Like I love this.
The White Rocks, right?
Yeah, the
It's
White
Lord of
Rocks
the
really
Rings
make
kind of
they really
feel.
make the painting to me. But anyway, yeah, I
The
wanted to. Yeah.
uh, the reason why I say megalithic is because in
Hmm.
order to carve out, in order to carve out those little sections
Mm-hmm.
in the bedrock.
Like this.
Uh,
Hmm.
it's and it's kind of crazy because it, actually there's a lot to this painting.
Yeah.
So you can see how uh, I guess the left rock, the concrete slab is actually embedded into the geological rock. Do you see
Uh,
how that?
yeah.
Do you
So
see how that
you're
is?
talking
So
about this. Yeah.
right. So there's a white slab that goes across, and you can see the angle, the very corner of the slab, but that looks to me non-geological, like humans put that there inside of that part of the rock.
Yeah. In nature,
Wh-
you wouldn't
right.
have a exact angle like that. Yeah.
And even just the doors into the rock themselves right above that makes me think of a megalithic, ancient technology, like how the hell was this made type of situation. It's out in the
Yeah.
water, so they had to have got this giant slab from a boat, from a quarry, or
Yeah.
you go deep into this thing, you know.
No, it really embodies mystery, I think, for a lot of reasons. And then, of course, there's this gaping hole here, which is the destination, which is, the great beyond, obviously. Like, it's
It reminds me of like a giving to the gods area. Like they're coming up on a boat with a bunch of gifts for the gods, and this is a
mm,
sacred spot, and they do this every day. They come out with their boat and they give food to their gods and
I
or
think
whatever.
well, it's called it's in German, but it's called the Isle of the Dead. And so I always thought that this is the boatman, and then this is the recently departed,
Ah,
and you're going
oh,
to
that
the
makes
great
way
beyond.
more sense. That makes way more sense.
Um, really mysterious. I love it. And so for some reason I was like, man, I've got to try to capture the feeling of this painting.
I'm
And
excited
so
for this track then.
cool. Yeah, let's jump in. Can you hear that?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Gothic medieval sci-fi. That's the vibes I get from it because you go from C up to G minor?
So that's the other interesting thing about this. This was a difficult composition for me to write
Sure.
because do you remember well, for a lot of reasons it uses a weird scale and just that kind of stuff. But also I decided to write in a key I've never used before, and I made that decision based on that chat GPT conversation that I shared with you.
Hell yeah.
Um and it said that um for anyone who would listen to this or is listening, um I asked about the use of keys and whether it actually matters as far as the emotions and the what the music conveys, or whether it's just simply a pitch difference. And according to ChatGPT, like it does matter mostly for historical reasons. So basically, if there's this well-known piece of music that's extremely melancholy that's written in B minor, that kind of becomes B minor kind of becomes that melancholy key when we hear it, and so it's kind of the overall cultural musical phenomenon. And there might be more to it than that. I don't know. Anyway, so I wrote this in F minor, just plain F minor, which was difficult because I'm not familiar. I wasn't familiar with the scale at all or the chords or anything like that. But as I've mentioned before, like one of the reasons that this composition sounds so different is that because I did it in F minor, because I didn't know where the chords were, so I didn't keep going to the same chords that I normally
Hmm.
would have gone to. Like I actually had to find new chords, and when I did that, they were chords I never would have played if I was in A minor or something. Because if I was playing in A minor, when I'm composing, I would be like, okay, I must go to this chord now because it's familiar, you know?
Because this one's gonna sound bad. I know that one sounds bad. So this one or this one. I have two or three choices. Yeah.
Exactly.
And this,
Whereas, yeah. Whereas I
so
did some weird stuff in this one. Like some of these chords are really strange, like augmented kind of chords that, yeah, I wouldn't have normally used. So, and I love it personally, but
so the real quick, I'm just curious, the strings that start at 5, what are the two top notes of those? The bottom.
actually, do you want to try just taking over and then you
Yeah,
can
hell
look
yeah, hell
and then
yeah.
you can look around
So
as you
in
will?
the meeting tab, there's a little thing called remote control.
Got
If you
it.
click that and then scroll down to my name and then click my name.
Looks like I gotta allow that. Hang on a second.
Roger. Oh yeah, I forgot I had to do that the first time.
Okay, one second. Right,
All right, let's see if this works. All right, here we go.
there you go. Have a peek.
Okay, so it's C to G minor. Yeah, that was what I was hearing. I was hearing the C to the G minor, and then when you hit this E, I was like, huh. It's almost like a sci-fi, back to gothic to sci-fi feeling, or at least when I was hearing this part right here.
And that note is a little dissonant, but I think it sounds good.
So this part here, this straight up, those back to back, those chords back to back remind me of, like a dark mythical Lord of the Rings forest walking through with your
Mm.
battalion or what like a really, it sets the mood for the rest of the track in my opinion. And it's very interesting things. You got C sharp or yeah, it's cool looking at. I mean, there's a lot going on right here. Like,
See how there's multiple sets of half note differences,
right.
which I think gives it that. I'm not sure if it's augmented exactly, but it gives it that augmented quality because it's going up by a half note in multiple layers of it. The bass you may recognize as well. Of course, it's oboe and bassoon playing in unison. One octave separation between them, but they're playing the same notes.
Gray light.
Boom bottom.
Yep, yep. Oh, boom bottom. Yeah, that thing's takes care of the low end real quick. A little bit of harp
Harpage.
action.
And of course, swell strings, which just are just so they add so much to the track. I mean, like any
Yeah.
track really. I mean, they're just I've been reaching for them constantly. I mean, they're pretty much my go-to strings now.
Yeah, this is, I think, definitely the bedrock. Well, the bedrock is probably, yeah. I mean, this is that the bedrock. Like everything needs to be in F, or it's setting the whole mood. And then what do you do up here? This is curious what you change this. Ah, yeah, you go up to A and then back down.
Back down. Yeah. I didn't want the bass to be doing anything crazy.
It's actually an interesting choice going up to A.
Mm. Yeah, I struggled with that a little bit. I also tried to follow the chords from 1 to 12, and it just didn't work. And so I just held the drone. The drone just worked better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That almost has like an Egyptian feel
It
to
does.
it.
It totally has Arabian Nights written all over it.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
like the only time in the track that I get that feeling. So it's very fleeting, you know. It's just a tiny sprinkle. But
yeah, it's a pretty sick track. Okay, so the only thing that I heard,
hmm.
let me play from the start. Okay. Okay, I want to just hear this.
That's actually how it had at the beginning.
To me, this is so much better.
Really. Well, it's mixed low now, I think, because it's just solo, but
but it but it allows the strings to breathe. So here I'll what I mean right at 5, I'll
yeah, I see what you mean. Hmm.
but I mean if you and this is just, throwing ideas out there, but the bassoon, if just changing that to a legato string or something, I bet would sound better with the strings. I think just a little bit of that timbre of the bassoon is uh taking out some of that beauty of the strings. That's
What if we bring the bassoon in at 16 during that chord progression, but nix it before that? You know what I mean?
I do. It does sound good with the harp, though. That's
Why does it sound like the oboe is so low? Is it because of an expression modulation thing or
let's see. So you're so that's expression. We want modulation.
my God, that's so annoying. Man, I cannot believe we have to do that. I'm not sure if it's louder though than before.
Let's try it all the way down. See
Yeah.
if some instruments don't have modulation effect.
Well, that one
Oh
definitely
no,
does.
yeah, yeah, this definitely does. So yeah, this is the highest we can get here. But
Try
honestly,
try bringing it down but boosting the volume. Yeah.
so okay, real quick. If we're on the modulation topic, it's possible, in my opinion, to actually keep the bassoon, but just have the modulation do its thing. So like if we went in there and just tamed the modulation
You can
to
get
be
rid of those
like,
notes too, up to 16. Like they're the exact same as the oboe, so I can always bring them back.
see if it sounds any different here. So it's not as nasally with it
Yep.
so it's one of those things. That's why I've said like a million times at the end of the orchestral track, I'll go into the strings and I'll just record on my mod wheel, like up and down. But here, it essentially does the same thing. If you just, go over here, and then when it comes over here,
Man,
a little bit
you
up.
know what I was just thinking though? Well, how awesome is it going to be when we have an AI bassoonist that will play the line and it'll put in the modulation where it should be, you know? Like
I guess I mean, yeah, I know this is the part that
because and this is the interesting thing about us is that the only thing I care about is putting the puzzle together of the notes and the harmonies and the bass and everything. Like creating the melodies and chords and stuff is what I care about. I don't care about Like once that's done, I want to hand this off to an orchestra and then step
That's
back. Like that's
and that's hilarious because I'm pretty much the opposite where
yeah.
I can have like 10 notes, but I need those 10 notes to be the best 10 notes I've ever heard in my life.
Well, so like,
That's
we are an interesting idea would be for me to write stuff and then just hand it to you and say like, here, go
uh,
crazy with it. Like,
we could absolutely, I mean, if you want, we could do that with this track. I mean,
yeah,
or I could take exactly this track and I'll bushido it to the point where my brain goes, all right, this is exactly what I think would sound like, and we compare and see, do you like the original or is this
yeah,
the advancement?
yeah.
So yeah, we can
And
mess with it.
and one other thing I wanted to mention. So yeah, I'll send you the
Hell
MIDI
yeah,
for this,
yeah,
or I
or
guess
just the
I'll
whole
send you the
project,
Logic. Yeah, I'll send you the
right?
Logic track. Um, another thing I wanted to mention though is, you know, I created this by looking at a painting. So we really don't need video exactly to get an inspiration
I
and a
like where you're
theme
going
and
with
an
this.
idea, right? So where I'm going with this in part is, would we get more traction on YouTube if we did this for like famous paintings or famous photographs
Ooh.
that actually have some traction with people, right? Like if if it was like the Scream or some incredibly famous painting, would that show up in searches more, or would that garner more interest or whatever? So anyway, that's where I was going with this, because this is a Isle of Dead is a fairly well known painting, but it's not like um the Scream or Vincent van Gogh's Sunflowers or the Mona Lisa, right?
So I think that's a pretty damn good idea, just as far as putting the name of the painting in the title of the
In the
track.
title, and then have it up. So only use stuff that's in the
Right,
public domain. Have it
right.
up, and then play the tracks.
And honestly, the entire track is, or I'm sorry, the entire video is just the picture.
Just the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just the picture is like cleanly and neatly put
Yeah.
on screen as possible.
As best as we could, with with a cool intro that's beautiful and an
I,
outro or something, and it would be so easy to produce.
I don't
Like,
even know. I don't even know if we do the intro because the way I figure or the outro, because the way I figure it for marketing or search term results is some people are gonna go into YouTube and search for that painting of X, right?
hmm
And they're gonna search for that painting and nothing else. They just want to technically they just want to see the painting,
so
because they're
the
just
thumbnail needs to have the photo
the
and not
thumbnail
something
needs
else.
to be
Yeah,
the painting, and
yeah.
so they click that, and then it's just a bigger picture with a track, and in the description we say this is our this is our
Interpretation of
right
music that would suit this. We'll come up with a more elegant way to say it. And like, I don't know if you're familiar with Francisco de Goya, but um,
negatory.
he like uh, I'm still
Pull it
sharing.
up.
Yeah, I'm still sharing my screen, but uh, or actually, hold up. Sorry, let me go with this one. Yeah, so there's a lot of like dark stuff we can like. This is an extremely famous painting of Saturn devouring his children by Francisco de Goya. So anyway, there's a lot of like there's a ton of themes to choose from. There's pastoral images. There's a really cool one I think would be uh D- Leonardo da Vinci's Man, the
Ooh,
perspective man,
I,
or
I
I forget what it's called, but like you could come up with a really futuristic sounding soundtrack for that almost, or like a really scientific sounding one or something. So
I think some of these would be, or at least I know in my brain, like if I were to see Leonardo da Vinci, something like that, instantly in my brain I go to like the Da Vinci Code and Hans Zimmer, and then I think of like the piano or the
a lot of
strings,
arpeggios and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Right.
something epic but
Yeah,
magnificent, I suppose, would be the only word for it. There's no other real magnificent.
yeah.
I guess is the
It was really cool though to just it was kind of like Composer Dome, except I wasn't in a hurry, and so I actually just sat here and looked at the painting for a while and tried to be there, and then I was like, okay, let's try to turn that into music. And it was a really cool experience. The whole thing was just really nice to do. So I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
we could try that right off the rip. I mean, we could
yeah,
do
like
it live.
a still image. Yeah,
We would just have to, figure out the length of the track because in a 10-minute compose, I mean, obviously you spent more than 10 minutes on this track when you made it,
yeah,
we would assume.
a lot, a lot more. Yeah, it was
So,
hours. Yeah.
okay, so we would have to capture that same essence in 10 minutes per painting. Um, so what do you think
Well,
a good length would be? Or do we even not do a length? We just do what it is and
no, I would do exactly what we do for Composer Dome, except instead of getting a lousy Pexels video, we get some wonderful historic piece of art, and we actually pull the art up and discuss it for a minute. Like we actually
right.
uh, um talk about the artist or something, a little bit of the history, like what era was it, and and then talk about like what it means to us or things we notice about it or like themes that we see or want to explore.
Right,
And then
right.
after that, we set a 10-minute timer, and then you make the music you make, and it's from there exactly the same.
And so if you have a 30-second track that you made or a minute long, it doesn't matter. It's just whatever, or a 5 second. It's just for 10 minutes, you're gonna compose to that picture, whatever comes up with it.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
and if what you have is 15 seconds of music after 10 minutes, fine. And if you have 2 minutes, that's cool too. But that would
Hell
be
yeah.
how I would view it.
I'm
Um,
down. I'm down to try that.
cool. Yeah, maybe. Um,
We wouldn't need the or would we need the oracle or
so I was just thinking, like, okay, well, how do we select art? Because the only thing I could think is you randomly select a web page and art in Britannica or something. But
why don't we research the top 10 most famous art pieces on Earth?
okay,
And then we perhaps choose one of those
okay,
just to start off, something that's maybe something that we both haven't. I mean, if it's top 10, we probably have seen them all, but maybe not.
yeah,
Could use GPT for this too.
true.
I'll do it at the same time, see if
Mona Lisa, obviously, it's the most famous. The Last Supper, Starry Night,
Starry Night.
The Scream, Guernica by Picasso, Gustav Klimt's The Kiss, Girl with the Rembrandt? Oh, Vermeer, The Birth of Venus, Botticelli. I don't know this. Diego Velasquez
On the
and
classic.
Michelangelo.
So GPT has similar results, but slightly in a different order.
Hmm.
Uh, let's see here. I mean, we could just start with Starry Night.
Sure,
Just you want to
let's
do
do it.
that? Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do Starry Night. All right. So we'll both just we can just
get a
both get our own
get
Starry
a
Night
version of
image.
it. Yeah, and then when you play the track, I guess just have it up. Like I did earlier, and see what happens.
And so yeah, and so let's see. Boom. Save this. And we always do the original thing because obviously or I guess could we do interpretations of the same thing and then that would drastically change the mood of the track though like if you had because there's different iterations of different paintings just like the Isle of the Dead.
I think like I mentioned earlier, what we should do probably is something like, and we're doing this live. We didn't even plan this at all. This is completely my fault. But we pulled it up like this and talk about it, and so then we know that we're both composing to the same thing. Because part of the interest, I think, is you know, we both have the same material and yet we do different things, you know.
True,
Um,
true.
um, so yeah, this is Starry Night.
Let's see here. I've seen this plenty of times. What it reminds me of, and it's always reminded me of, even
Mhm.
though it's not really. I mean, the trees don't really. So Peter Pan,
Mm-hmm. Let's do that.
when he goes out the window in the very beginning, I think it's the beginning of the movie
You
or
mean the
something.
Disney movie? Like the cartoon one?
Old school. No,
Yeah.
no, no. The Robin Williams Peter Pan. Oh, Hook. It's Hook.
Hook.
Sorry,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
not Peter. It's I just remember it as Peter Pan. I Hook. Um, I think I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid, but for
Yeah.
some reason, that scene when he goes out the window, that village right there reminds me of that
Hmm.
same atmosphere of, nighttime in a little village or
Yeah.
city kind of situation. Um, Bustling little town going on and like peaceful night.
Yeah, I never realized how small this painting is. You know, it's not really grand. You know, it looks like it's dimension wise. It looks like it's pretty small. I also never realized that it had a crescent moon before.
Yeah, and
I don't
then
know. I guess it's famous because of the texture, which is pretty brilliant. Yeah, I don't, and it's interesting. It doesn't really give you a, you don't, other than its use of like heavy use of blue, you don't really get a temperature feeling from it, right? Like, is it winter or summer? You know?
to me it's summer night.
Mm.
It's a summer starry night. Well, obviously that's the name of the painting, Starry Night. But it's like yeah, obviously it's accentuating the stars almost as much as the brightest point of the sky, which was the moon, but it's like really showing those stars. And the weird part about the stars is there's no real like you can't see any true constellations that I can see.
Yeah, they're
They
totally,
seem to be random as hell, you know.
yeah, and they're totally abstract. I mean, this isn't what stars look like, right? Like, it's a very
Well,
abstract, you know.
strangely enough, when you zoom into a P900, sometimes stars do look like that, which
Oh
is
yeah,
kind of
yeah, but
weird.
like in the sky. I mean, this doesn't look
Right.
like a night sky and on Earth. You know, it's a very abstract interpretation. But I guess these are trees,
Yeah, those have to be long.
conical, kind of that you see in Italy, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. And then it kind of looks like, you have wine vineyards
Yeah, yeah.
towards the
Here,
back
yeah, or olives or something. Yeah, I do kind of get a
or olives, right, right.
Mediterranean vibe in church here. This really like almost exaggerated steeple here. Again, it's very surreal. You know, it's kind of a surreal painting.
Yeah, without that exaggerated steeple, the city would feel smaller probably.
Mm.
And it's kind of like, yeah,
That's interesting. Like that's an interesting observation. Like
it
the
goes
church
above the
is,
mountaintop,
yeah, the
It's
church is above everything else. You know.
and the perspective in general, it's not really a top view, but it's not really a side view. It's kind of like a top down-ish, like a side RTS view or something.
Yeah. Are there different? Yeah. Okay. This looks more like a painting perspective.
Yeah,
It
that look
looks like for most of these really famous works, there are multiple versions of them. You know.
right. I know that's what I was saying earlier because
Yeah.
yeah, there's that super blue one that
Buzz off. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Let's I guess let's go off the original. Cool. What do you
all
think?
right. So yeah. You want to do a I'm just gonna use the restroom real quick before we jump into this. Been
Okay.
drinking heavy coffee. I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. Not going to save that just yet because I'm going to submit that to Aaron later. And so I will get a new project ready.
Yeah, let's get the show on the road. Pull up. Starry night. And so I guess should we share the same image or should we just find our own version and
I'd say your own version is fine. I guess as long as it doesn't deviate hugely from the original, although that might be kind of interesting too. But yeah, I don't know. We're played by ear, I guess. This is totally unplanned. So
that's true. Okay, I'll just I'll do
I got the one
this
off
one.
Wikipedia. So
Okay, I just got one off of Amazon. All right, here we go.
I guess we could share a website and just pull it up in a browser rather than download it. Just have that open, but it's whatever.
Let's see. I was gonna use this one here.
I guess it's not important actually. If we use slightly different versions, I don't think it really matters. Yeah. So
I
that has a
mean,
lot more yellow, I think.
yeah, more colors and
Yellow and green rather than blue. So yeah, I think it's cool.
alrighty. Let's get this show on the road. So, oh, cat wants to jump up.
Hello, cat.
Let's stop sharing here. Open up Logic. Just gonna switch my audio. Oh yeah, maybe I'll. Oh no, because you'll hear what I'm playing. I was gonna say we could share the picture on the stream, but that won't work.
Right.
Okay. All right, let me open up this timer.
Okay.
Cat crawling all over me.
Well, so during this, oh, you could share without sharing sound, right?
Uh oh. Oh, that's genius.
You could
Yeah, so
yeah, just turn the sound share off, and then you could have the image up while we're composing, so at least we're not just looking at
or,
our faces.
or okay, so yeah, exactly. So if I delete this and let me just open up a piano.
Cheater.
Come on. I'm not even gonna use piano.
Yeah, right.
I'm thinking more strings.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
thinking more. Well, I don't know. It might give it away. More like high tinkly things, like glockenspiel or
Oh,
something like that.
thanks for the tip. That's exactly
You're
what I'm using.
you're welcome.
Okay, so you can't hear this, right?
I cannot.
Good. Okay, yeah, this is gonna work perfect. Uh oh, wait, no. This is what I gotta do. I gotta share my second screen that has the image on it.
Yeah. I can't do that because I only have one screen, but I think you can. Yeah. Unfortunately, I only have one monitor. You got a cat tail right in your face.
I know. Okay, so share desktop 2. Um
Beautiful. Now we don't have to hear about people calling us weirdos.
now they'll just call us extra weirdos. Okay. So all right, let me get this timer going. 10 minutes.
I guess we technically could have had the Pexels video just playing on loop the whole time instead.
Oh man, we could have done that this whole entire time.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe we didn't. What the hell? I don't know, man.
We're amateurs, man. We don't know what we're doing.
Hey, today we're advanced though, man. We got new systems in place. All right. Okay, so I just want to make sure. So if I start this timer, it'll start there. Okay, so I'm ready to
Yeah,
start
man.
when you are. Okay, let me just
I'm
kick this
I'm
cat off me real quick. Get out of here.
I'm
Okay.
I'm ready to rock.
Composer painting dome in
Exactly.
5, 4, 3, 2, uno.
Paint.
Composer dome.
Oh man, I forgot how hard that was.
Yeah, that
That
time
went that went by
flew
so
by.
that went by so fast. That timer came out of absolute nowhere. Like the last time I looked at the timer, it was like 4 minutes, and then I was like, okay,
I,
cool, I got plenty of time.
I looked at the timer at 6:53 and I go, I have nothing.
Oh
And
man.
then I go, oh, I gotta put something down, man.
Oh, that's hard.
Um,
Hard.
yeah, so interesting to say the least, I suppose. It was more like, well, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to share first or want me to open mine?
Sure. Sure.
Okay,
I don't.
I'll get my audio ready in the meantime.
Oh right, yeah. Let me switch mine over. Mine's not very good. I'm not really happy with it. It's also horribly mixed because I was trying to get notes and instruments down. And I was like, okay, I'll do the mixing at the last minute or something, and then the time ran out. So
Yeah, I had some MIDI issues myself. And really strangely, I had untold strings on there at one point, and it kept like making a really weird noise that I couldn't remove. So I said, "Okay, see you later, track." Just
hmm.
killed the whole thing. Uh, Starry Night.
You hear that?
Ah, here we go. Yes.
Okay, cool. Here we go. All right, Starry Night, everyone.
So definitely the bell thing. You weren't joking around,
I
man.
was not joking around. I went for it. Yeah, that part I actually like.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like that a
whoops,
lot.
sorry. I think it just kind of that captures kind of the feeling. That kind of
Yeah.
captures the feeling of the painting somewhat.
Yep. I
And
agree.
then the boom bop bop kind of gives it an old feeling because it's from the
Mm-hmm.
1800s. So I'm happy with both of those. These two elements not so happy with. Um,
That's not bad. I mean, that definitely gives it the background that it needs.
yeah, this is horrible though. This is I hate. I should have just left that out. Um, which is this. Oh wait, whoops! I did the opposite. There we go. That's just terrible. And I was working on
The
the
right,
sound
because
of it, and it was just it sounds terrible. But yeah, I guess if I mute,
yeah,
I
this
guess,
probably will be.
oh, not horrible, I guess, but
It kind of it feels a little like definitely the instrument one is when I see the painting, definitely see that. But then I hear the horns, and I feel like it's more like a almost like a slight triumphant kind of feeling.
hmm. Well,
Uh,
this is noir piano actually, so it's
oh wow, sounds like horns.
yeah, I can hear the horn though. Now that you mention it, it wasn't the best choice either, to be honest. I mean, actually, if I mute both of those, that's just better probably.
Yeah, I mean, definitely captures the mode of the
Are you
move my
moving a cat?
moving my cat away from knocking everything down, or if it's knocked down. Um, yeah, I'm digging that. What instrument is that? Is that just a singular instrument from Mallet Flux?
No, that's a glockenspiel from Orchestral Tools.
Ah, that's uh, what library?
Inspire.
Inspire. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's classic. Instantly. I mean, the timbre on that thing sounds so good, like
yeah.
unbelievably good. That's
Inspire is crazy, especially given how much they sell it for sometimes. I mean, you could pick up a lot for Inspire. Like, and it's designed to not have a lot of fluff. Like, it's just like here's the things you want, like nothing extra. And I mean, I've absolutely loved it. I mean, I you could build an entire production studio out of it, to be honest. Like,
yeah. I mean, you don't really have to do much to that. You could potentially just add a touch of reverb, I
mhm.
suppose, but right out of the box, that thing sounds like the best triangle ever, or
Yeah,
best. What is it again? It's a
Glockenspiel.
glockenspiel. I have some glockenspiel samples. Every single one of them are terrible, unbelievably bad.
You don't have one in Berlin?
I don't have Berlin, or I have
Uh,
Metropolis Arc
Metropolis. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
two. They have no glockenspiel in there. Uh, I usually use a Glock or a Glock sounding type of thing from Best Service when I have to use a Glock. That's like the closest. It's like metal something, the patch, and it sounds most like a Glock, but that thing sounds like a legitimate orchestral Glock
Orchestral. Yeah,
right
yeah.
there, like
Right.
right center stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I agree. Orchestral tools, man. It's the way to go.
hell yeah. All right, let's see here. Let me share this screen here. Boom. Okay, so mine's more also we didn't talk about your key, but I mean you did the classic
A minor.
yeah. It
Is
was,
an A minor.
ding 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 ding. Also I kind of go up a little bit too, and a little bit here, but I'll just play the beginning. Or should I pull up the picture and do that?
Yeah, I think that's what I did,
Oh,
right? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good to do that if possible.
oh, if I click on Logic, it'll just whatever. I'll just play it. So yeah,
Wow. That's
kind
great,
kind
man.
of modern sounding though,
That's
not
great.
you know.
Kind of
modern sounding though, not. Oh, I got this playing back here. Hold on one second. Get out of
Oh,
there.
I was
That
wondering what
freaked
that
me
was.
out for a second. I'm like,
Yeah,
is that my audio? It
that
is.
freaked me out too. Yeah, no, that was amazing, man. You really capped. It is really modern. We definitely went for completely different things. Like
Yeah.
I was trying to make it sound like it was in the 1800s, but like that's not. You don't need to do that, you know.
So
And
I just tried capturing the nighttime feeling of
100%
night. That,
peaceful night. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I
but
think you nailed it. Um,
C major, C major. And honestly, going back to what you sent in Telegram for the different genres from GPT,
hmm
I actually did some homework with that. And I went through every single one of those on my keyboard, just at least for a couple minutes, just to sound like, take what I normally play, and then I would just try to play it using complete control scale things. So I just change the scales so that it would match notes,
mm.
and I would instantly just start playing each one. Otherwise, I'd have to sit there and like, you know, get reference online of what keys. Blah, blah, blah.
Wait, wait. So in complete control, you can keep it as a piano, as a chromatic piano,
So
but you can
if you
turn the
want, I could show you live right now. If you open up
yeah,
a piano track,
yeah,
uh, and it just has to be complete control though. That's the only thing. It doesn't it won't work with contact.
yeah.
So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Um, cool. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, complete control is ready to rock.
Okay, so open up your favorite piano VST or your staple.
Okay.
So you can play that now, right? Everything's loaded.
Yes. Hang on one second. I'm gonna switch my audio over, which I need to do anyway.
Ah, yes.
Beach Ball of Death.
Beach ball of death. Hopefully this isn't the end.
I'm still not hearing anything. What?
Are you using Zoom audio device, or are you using your normal?
I'm on mine. It's not even
Okay.
registering like a MIDI signal for some reason. Yikes. Oh, it's
Hmm.
like not registering a MIDI for anything now. What? Dang it.
So, let's see.
Wait, like nothing is.
Is Logic crashed? Or
No, it's
so when you press the play on the bar,
it's like all of like my controller, which I have like a transport controller that's a separate thing. It's not working either, and the MIDI is just the complete control is completely unresponsive. It's like MIDI, all MIDI channels shut off.
okay, try just powering on and powering off the MIDI controller.
Oh wow. Okay, it prompted me for a firmware update when I did that, which is really weird. Like I powered it
Ah,
off, and it said,
yeah. I am so skeptical and worrisome of firmware updates personally, but you have a newer keyboard than I. So I don't know. That's your I mean, if I ever get a firmware update on my screen again, I will say no every time. I just the last time I did a firmware update, it completely destroyed my workflow. Uh, and then the next update fixed it, and I just refuse to ever firmware update, man. It's like for the newer models, I suppose that it's safer, but for the older models that aren't supported as well, I get nervous, man.
"Hang on a sec. I'm gonna close Logic and
Okay,
open
reopen
it
it.
again."
Yeah, just open a fresh track. I bet everything work out okay. Did you also open up 1828 or 1928 piano?
Do I also?
Did you also open
No,
up
no, no,
1928 with complete?
no.
Which sample were you trying to open?
Delicate piano from
Gotcha.
Orchestral Tools, which is in KI, so shouldn't cause an issue.
I have had some orchestral tools complete control issues though. That I will say with Metropolis Arc. That's why I do use so just to be safe, I would just use a non just for this example, a non orchestral tools piano if possible.
Okay.
Just some any piano like Alicia Keys, it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
just for and it will definitely work with like Alicia Keys.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I've got that. Okay. This is
Okay,
the most
so
most basic of the basic, and it's working fine.
everything's
So all
working
right.
fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
So now go to your keyboard and
Okay.
then you see the shift button?
Uh-huh.
So hold down the shift button and then hit scale one time. Now, uh, after you do that, you need to hit scale one more time so that it lights up,
Oh, okay. Yep.
and then go to your little LCD screen, and then go to the root note and change that root note. Just you can drag it down, and it
Sure. In this example, what do we want?
oh, it doesn't matter. It just this is what I did when we did the GPT stuff, or when I did the GPT stuff. I just set it to each. So like F minor or F or C made, or obviously C major is all white keys, but uh, you know, try some like E flat harmonic minor or something, and then you just hit scale, and then boom, all the keys light up in that scale. That is working for you though, right? The different keys are lighting up for per scale.
I don't understand the lighting pattern though. It says
S-
major. I'm on B flat. Bank is main. Yeah. Okay.
And then when you click the scale, if as long as it's lit up, it will show you the keys of that scale, and the other ones that aren't lit up are not in that scale, and you're not even able to hit those keys. Shouldn't be able to.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've got it on learn. mode
Oh,
select?
I think learn mode is just the white keys though, isn't it? You'd
Hmm.
want, oh, it's not? Um, Let me just make sure here. Yeah, so key mode should be mapped.
Mapped. Okay.
And then when you cycle through the root notes, like quickly turn that knob through them, your lights should go crazy on your keyboard. You know,
No, see, so I like, yeah, so I like learn because that forces me to actually hit the actual note.
oh, so that you can hit a wrong note.
Right.
Okay, okay, but it is,
Because then I learn the scale. Like
of
if I play
course.
on mapped, yeah. So yeah, that's good. I did not even know that that did that. That's really
But
good though.
yeah, that's the only reason why I own a complete control keyboard is for that feature. And that was 2016 that I started using that feature. And I'm like, man, it doesn't matter what is anything's in. I'll just know the key right off the bat and I'll be in key. Uh, so yeah, I went through that entire every single mode and feeling behind the
Wow.
thing, and I just switched them. I just went do 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 do
Man,
and just started
love it.
playing.
Yeah, yeah, this is a game changer for me, especially the learn mode because when I was writing in F minor, it was a struggle because F minor is a really weird scale to play on the piano. It's not like easy to remember in any way. It's this
It is not,
combination of white and black keys and there's no you can't really make sense of it easily, so
dude.
yeah.
So when you said F minor, that's really funny because F minor is I learned that like uh 2 years ago, like burned it into my brain because it was from a track that I really like. It's an orchestral track, and I'm like, man, this is such a powerful key. What the hell key is this? And I looked it up, and it was F minor, and I was like, okay, I need to burn this into my brain. But it is a strange thing because usually that B to B flat, you always want to be able to have those notes the the B to B flat to me is kind of my transition to chord. I can go back to my B to my B flat and so many other keys, but in F minor, you can't hit B to B flat. So you're forced to like go into a either C or C sharp, which completely changes the motion of the track in a good way, or an interesting way. But yeah, F minor's a killer key.
Yeah, yeah, it and like, obviously there's very easy ones like A minor or C, right? Where it's all the white keys and like
Or
you don't
D
even worry about
minor,
no A. Yeah, and D minor is just there's only the one A sharp
A sharp, yeah.
to worry about.
And you can't hit B though.
And E minor is easy too. Like I didn't even
Yep.
like when I decided like I'm gonna get more comfortable with the E minor on the piano. It didn't take me long at all to be very comfortable playing. But F minor was totally different for whatever reason. I could not get it tattooed in my brain. So,
And if you scroll down on the type, so right now, you're chromatic, major, minor, just scroll all the way down that list
yeah.
and there's like Arabic, Japanese, Fragish,
Oh
Hungarian
wow,
minor. There's
man,
and then each
this is gonna make a
yeah,
huge difference when we're doing compositions because yeah, I can
yeah, it just
pick
it
that
it
man.
makes it makes things a lot easier, especially if like you're not normally doing that version of whatever. You're like, okay, at least I have the bass down. I don't have to worry about the notes. I just have to worry about making the music. So yeah.
Yeah, and another thing, I mean, the fact that the notes in the scale are all lit up, that means you can build chords off those too. So like it
But
makes the chord building so much easier. And
so much
it's
easier.
not like it's not like you're cheating exactly. You're still learning the scale if you put it on the learn mode at least.
So even when I don't have it on the learn mode, um, I still won't hit the keys if I like sometimes I will, and that is a problem. But for the most part, I try to only hit the real keys. But if I'm recording a big thing and I do hit a wrong key, it's not going to screw up my entire thing. It'll screw up the MIDI, but not my output, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
It's like
Yeah.
you can't make a mistake here. It's impossible. Kind of dealy. But hell yeah, man. I'm glad that you finally got that in because I wanted to go over that a while ago when you first got this keyboard. That's what I was so excited to show you. Like the, you know, because if you think about it, the possibilities are endless. And really, it's like instant gratification. You can just jump in there.
Yeah,
But
man, this is great. Yeah, wow, this is
hell yeah,
a
man.
game changer.
And
Absolutely.
and again, I would not recommend using complete control with metrop or orchestral tools. I would stick with Contact 8. That thing works unbelievably well with orchestral tools, but dude, I just have nightmare issues with complete control and orchestral tool. I don't know why. It
Yeah,
just
well, I think I just had one. I mean, like, I wouldn't maybe be able to do this with our sessions here, but ideally, I guess what I would do is record the MIDI on whatever patch and then move the MIDI
transpose it to
to a orchestral tools instrument or something like that.
exactly. Exactly. And then that learn mode is even better. So you guaranteed won't hit a wrong note. The MIDI will be solid. And yeah, you could just use that anywhere.
Yeah, cool.
Hell yeah. Should we do another painting piece here? Finish it out, or should we what are you feeling?
Yeah, I could do one more. Yeah, I
Okay,
could
let's
do
do
one more.
one more. And do you have to use the restroom or anything or break or
No,
anything?
I'm good.
Okay, kill it. All right, let's get this thing going. I'm gonna open up thing here. I'll choose one here. Okay. Save images desktop. How about The Wanderer Above the Sea Fog?
I've never heard.
Caspar David Friedrich, 1818. I will send this in.
Oh, that's cool. I think I can just look it up.
Okay.
Wander above the sea. Ah, okay. Yeah, I've seen that picture or painting. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
say this would be
Actually,
cool.
let me break though. Sorry, I changed my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. Let's break real quick.
Yeah. All right. BRB.
It was interesting. Halfway through, I saw your camera like start zooming back out. Like it was weird. Now it's like
Yeah, yeah, I
bigger.
know. I actually had to it's weird when I pull up Logitune though. Watch,
Oh, yes. I think
it'll
Logitune was the might have been the culprit of my Logic crashes. I have not had any Logic issues since killing Logitune on my update. Just throwing that out there. But it does make my camera look weird.
what the
My
heck?
camera looks.
Man, earlier when I pulled this up, hmm, that's
Might have to
weird.
click into Logitune.
Yeah, I am. I'm actually even if I change the framing distance, it's not even doing anything now. Yeah, I don't know. We're getting a bigger shot of the room, I guess.
Yeah, Logitune. Yeah, it's weird. Actually, it looks almost like we have a 4K camera. Oh, there it is.
There we
Look at
go.
that. It
That
just
just decided to
what the hell is going on? M2 chip, man, or M1 chip.
yeah.
It's AI.
Anyway, yeah, can you pull up or do you want to talk about this painting at all?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll share um
Yeah,
screen here.
I've seen this before, but I haven't really taken a close look at it.
Screen here. Boom.
I almost get like kind of Victorian exploration vibes from this, kind of like the time machine or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's when I look at it, uh for some reason it's almost like I know it's just fog and it's a sea of fog, but it's almost ocean feeling. Like it's not
Yeah.
forest, but it's ocean.
Well,
Uh,
that's the weird thing about it that makes it kind of surreal in my view is that it does look like he's standing on a rocky ocean, but then you can see trees on the rocks below him. So it's obviously not an ocean or, like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So
So
kind of otherworldly almost.
it's definitely ethereal,
Yeah.
uh, in my opinion, just because of the cloud wisp. The top left, I think that's just destroyed painting. That's nothing actually. That should just be clouds, I'm assuming.
To me, the main theme would be kind of triumphant, and a little kind of triumphant, but a little bit of uncertainty and mystery, maybe even a little bit of danger as well.
Interesting.
But he's standing up, but he's very confident, you know.
Yeah, that's yeah. So when I right when I look at it, I go if I had to put music to it, I would think I like a probably probably like a D minor or E minor and very pad driven ethereal type of thing. When I see it, I don't actually see the triumphant thing right when I look at
Interesting.
it. Yeah, what I see is actually like just very like calming peace. Like it's almost like bringing the humanity of just this. I'm wearing these clothes and I got this walking thing to help my human impediment, and I am on this rock just looking at the expanse beauty of this planet, this part of the earth. Like
Wow.
that's what I see when I see
I
it.
see this so totally different. It's amazing. Like to me, it's like I'm gonna conquer this, or like it's very yeah. It's
So you
almost like
go, I go,
confident domination, almost like
that's amazing. So you go triumphant domination. I go humbling moment.
yeah. That's so weird, but yep.
That is an
Let,
interesting.
let's try to let's try
Yeah,
to
yeah. Let's
cap
jump into it
let's
and
try to capture it.
do our things here. Um, okay, let me stop sharing here. Got to switch my audio real quick.
Try to capture our respective interpretations.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, that's funny, man. That's the cool thing about art, you know. That is a cool thing about art. I'm not sure about modern art. I think modern art should be eradicated from our planet because it is
Yeah, I don't like it.
unbelievably worthless, in my opinion.
Oh man,
Uh,
I accidentally shut. What is it called again? I accidentally shut down the browser. My bad.
it is called "Wander Above the Sea Fog" by David or Casper David Friedrich.
There we go. Gotcha. All right, cool. We're good.
Okay, I'm just gonna open that up on my second screen here. Boom. And then I share. If I can get to Zoom. This guy. Bam. And the timer. Okay, I'm ready to go when you are, sir.
Okay. Cool. Yep, I am ready to rock.
Alrighty. Composer Dome in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Two.
1.
Composer.
Composer Dome. Time's up. Over. Blow. Snap back to reality. Okay, doing some Eminem lyrics there. No big deal. Okay.
That's what you do. Well, I did not accomplish what I set out to accomplish, unfortunately. But
I am not disappointed with what I did. I am disappointed in one note that I couldn't get
oh,
right. Uh,
I think you got me beat today. I'm not having luck with the whole composing part. But the time is maybe I got spoiled
dude,
last weekend
I'm
without doing
I'm
Composer Dome. But
the time on these paintings feel like 5 minutes for some
yeah,
reason
yeah.
compared to the video. I don't know why. The video actually seems like I think what it is for me at least, I find myself looking at the painting and not making anything, you
Well,
know?
the painting's way cooler than the Pexels videos, so
I go, I start interpreting the painting and I go, oh, that doesn't fit. That doesn't fit. That doesn't fit. Oh, wait, that doesn't fit. Instead
yeah.
of going, this fits, this fits, this fits, for the track, it just feels like I am staring at this thing way longer. I actually, full disclosure, I actually enjoy doing this more than the videos. This is,
Oh yeah,
it seems
100%
way more to what we're actually, uh,
after. Yeah.
yeah, because it's our own interpretation. It's not forced by a video. Everything that we make on Composer Dome is forced by a video. This is kind of open to interpretation. So hearing the differences is going to be pretty interesting too.
Yeah, yeah. You want to go first? Actually, you
Yeah,
picked
yeah.
this one.
Let's jump in. Oh, let me do my audio beforehand. Bam, bam. It's probably like literally the complete opposite of what you did, but because you were
Yeah.
thinking triumphant, I was thinking humbling, ethereal, but
Mm-hmm.
okay, so let's
Yeah, to me, this painting has so much natural energy to it. Like it's not calming whatsoever to me. So it's weird.
yeah,
It's really strange.
to me it's extremely calming. It's like if I was in that spot right there, I would feel like that's just like this is amazing to
Yeah, I would
feel.
agree. I'd agree, but I wouldn't be standing like that. Like it looks like
Dude
he's
has a bum hip. I mean, how do you want him to stand? Making fun of his posture. He's just
Oh
trying to get
man.
comfortable looking at the
Oh
view.
man, I'm being ableist over here. Seriously.
I think no, back in the day, they used canes just not like for hiking, but just like for style, right?
For
Like
style,
people,
absolutely.
yeah,
And
they didn't even need them.
to beat your servants and all
Boom,
kinds of
boom,
stuff. Yeah.
boom, boom, and secret swords. Those are the coolest
Yeah, those are
canes.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into it here. So I'll pull up the
Cool painting.
picture, put it like here, and hopefully when I press play, it doesn't go behind it. I think it will, but yeah, whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah. So
Oh
more
wow.
more
Yeah.
ethereal.
Yeah, you killed it, man. Mine sucks. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
E minor.
It
Just
it actually that actually puts that feeling on the painting for me. Like when I listen to that and look at the painting, I get the feeling, you know. Uh
okay. So that's in my brain exactly how I feel when I look at that thing. It's like
yeah, yeah.
very ethereal. It's not action or any or to me it's like a triumphant thing would be like, in my opinion, like a boat to go down. And you interpret it as this is about to go down, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's almost like a
It's
yeah,
fascinating.
I went for energetic action and failed. I mean, I didn't pull it off, but that's what I was going for actually. It was more of an action track. Yeah, like it's about to go down. Like he's again, like to me, this is, late 1800s probably, something like that. It's just when we started to really use technology to master nature. And so that's kind of that energy is what I see in this, you know. Like
like conquering the land.
I'm gonna conquer you. Yeah. Like,
Oh, I see. I see.
yeah.
That's so, yeah, that's fascinating. I guess I just see it as maybe I have a lower um appreciation for humanity versus Earth or something. And so when I see it, I go, man, Earth is so badass and humans are
Oh
just
yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying
cancerous.
I'm not saying that that's a good thing, and that's not my perspective, but I think that that's what I feel when I
Right,
look at it,
right.
you know.
Of
Yeah,
course, of
yeah.
course.
Not a not an endorsement of that mentality. But yeah.
I just went with the classic stray light. Can't go
Ah,
wrong with.
Eternal. That's a nice pad.
Oh, it's beautiful. So nice. Just I'll solo just first chord. I chose because it it reminded me of wisping waves and kind of like
Oh yeah.
audio wise, it kind of wisps up and has its own little
Oh yeah. Perfectly chosen, I think. And then
I got lucky too.
you doubled up on the pad with
Doubled up on the pad with some orchestral tools, but not the version. So if you load Sign Player in complete control and then load your instruments, everything's kosher, everything's fine. I don't crash or on my end. But
ah.
if I load, but the problem is some of orchestral tools requires you to open it from contact.
Yeah.
It's not doesn't show. But all of these that I have in here work flawlessly. So originally I was going to use Habitat
Yeah.
for my pad, which would have been cool, but I can't, that Eternal popped out. It was like the first one I picked. I'm like, all right, screw it. And then picked the free string ensemble, the
Yeah,
Helix.
Helix is great.
Helix, man, it's just classic strings.
It's really clean and it doesn't try to overpower other elements in the track. I think
Yeah,
that's why it works.
exactly. And I had to add. Oh, this is I put a volume automation on
Man,
like a
you did a
mallet
lot. You did a
thing.
lot in 10 minutes. This is impressive.
But it's all the same key. I mean, it's not really that impressive. I did this and then just extrapolated from this MIDI to fill out the
Yeah,
rest.
my problem is I tried to make my chord progression way too complicated. um, yeah, and I spent way too much time trying to get notes right. So this was definitely the right approach to take in
A-
the short period of time.
And just for an example of that modulation we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
I
Oh, it
actually
sounded great.
did use what I was saying. Let's jump into the modulation or the expression rather. I don't know why it's not triggering. It is modulation. If I click into it, that's fucking weird. Okay, so do you see how the modulation, these things up here are like this?
Yeah.
Like it's a wave.
Yeah.
So it goes up and down. So that's just me playing on the mod wheel when the violin is happening, because if not, the timbre of the violin is not good. But if I use the modulation to ease it in and then make it louder when I want, and then reduce it real quick so it doesn't ring out that death nasally timbre, sounds normal to mix. Like you want that quiet there. That wasn't triggering.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. That fifth right there.
Because it rings out in that like ethereal type of thing or whatever.
No, I think it's
Hell yeah.
I think it's brilliant that you pulled this off in 10 minutes, man. That is really impressive.
So much you gotta admit it's so much easier just being able to do what you want compared to stick to the video, right? Like things
Yeah.
come out easier. I'll just do a 16. All right, save the script. Stop sharing here. Get this show on the
Alright.
road.
Yeah, man, mine's not good.
It's
It's not good. I tried to do energetic. I'm gonna conquer nature. The future is now, and filled edit. So
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. the first half of that has so much potential. It's
Potential.
ridiculous. Holy shit.
You see what I said
Um,
about I was making the chord progression way too
wow.
freaking complicated, you know?
So
Like,
so in my humble opinion, I would totally. Okay, can you just let's see. What was I thinking here? Oh, right. So 1 to 7, I believe, is incredible, and
oh well,
7 to 13
sucks.
goes off the rails.
Yeah.
But 1 to 7 is amazing. Can you play that one more time?
Mhm.
Yeah, the energy of the. Yeah, uplifting, and then it go. Yeah, okay, and then so
But
this.
what if we repeat it? If you repeated that theme here, maybe would that work?
So the note at 8, um, yeah. So the piano note at 8 on track 3.
Ah, 3. Yeah, yeah. I couldn't. I just struggled for a long time to get these notes right.
So that G minor that you're hitting right there
Oh
is
crap!
not
Looks like
in.
it looks like it's off timing too. But let me hold on a second. Sorry.
So that needs to be an A. That G minor. No, just that one note. Just that one note. The
The-
to the right. Yes. Move that up one. And then probably the next one is but we'll just hear what that sounds like real quick. No, that's not. It's not that note either. Maybe that note is A again, because there's a distinct like thing that's happening there. That yeah, that could be it. Nah, sorry. Um,
okay, so
all I
let's
know is G minor sounds weird right there.
what's playing at 8, I guess is the way to look at it. We got
Right.
F, D, and A. So that's a
Oh yeah, maybe it's E.
sorry. F, D, E, F, A. No, that's not right. Wow, that is so weird. What is going on here? That's an A. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then we have a D. Oh, okay. I misread that. That's why. That's D. F. Okay, there it is. Okay, so given that that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I was like, what
Yeah.
is it?
There it is. There it is. So I think that's what we need to do, something like that. So it's A,
Yeah, that
F, D, probably something like that.
that F might be a G, but yeah. Actually, yeah, 100%, 100%. Cooking.
Wow, that timing wasn't wrong though.
No, the timing's right. It's just that second note was a G minor, and it was out of key in that
Yeah.
particular point.
Damn it! What was the original timing though? Because the original timing was
Half in the beginning. Yeah, right.
was like that, I think.
Yep.
And that was
Yep.
and it looks wrong, but it's right. Yeah. And now the notes are just wrong. And
Yeah, it's that third. Oh, you know what? Kill that note that's highlighted right now and just have that third note in this timing. Just hear what that sounds like real quick? You might need to change that note, but yeah, see that it might, yeah, it might be F. You're right. You're right. You're right. It's D. That's nice how it goes down like that.
I think crap. I always do that. I see in Cubase to repeat something is Control D to, but here if you hit Control D you duplicate the
Duplicates the
entire
track.
thing instead. So it's Control R.
I always just use the Option key. That's
Something
cool.
like that could work.
Yeah, yeah. I love how, you know, you're playing around with that timing, but it's still in 4/4. You know, it's like a
So
polyrhythmic.
so I think like that, right? Yeah, I mean I'd have to mess with it, but
Yeah, yeah. If you extended that to 11, it would probably loop really well.
it keeps getting stuck weirdly.
Press play and then stop. Or on the actual taskbar at the top. Try hitting the play button and then stop. There you go.
Yeah, you're right, that did it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well,
Hell yeah.
it's something. I know it's
I-
definitely not as good as yours, but
last, well, all right, last thing on number 4. Is that the thing I'm here? Right here? Yeah, solo that real quick. Oh, I guess not. Solo 1. Sorry. This is fucking awesome. This patch. Holy crap! Like, where'd this come from? Is this Ashlight? What
Yeah.
is this? Is this Ashlight?
yeah.
I mean, this
that's-
is incredible, dude. Like, where the hell did this patch come from?
boom, Dark
Dark
Chase.
Chase. I don't. It sounds
Actually,
so good that I'm like, how
I'm
did I
kinda-
not hear this before?
I want to see what it sounds like on the higher. Well, nothing works. I don't know, man.
Computer blew up.
I've been having the weirdest MIDI issues today. Like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's not working now. Like nothing. Yeah, the entire MIDI is gone. Like my transport controller doesn't work now.
What
Man.
the hell, man? Maybe it really is forcing the firmware update, or
Man, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, at this point, I might as well just go ahead and do the firmware update. I don't think it could get worse. But-
what if it fixes everything, right?
oh, that would be a dream. All right, I'll save this though. Fog, something like that. Awesome.
Hell yeah!
Cool. All right.
All right,
Well, that was fun.
pretty
That
good
was a that
Composer
was
Dome.
yeah. Let's talk about whether we want to continue doing it this way. I guess what we could do is you could choose one famous piece of art, and I could choose a famous piece of art. And so maybe I'll get a little bit of heads up because I'll know what the art is beforehand. And then in your case, maybe you'll get a little bit of heads up. And then if we still have time and we want to do another one, we can pick one at random or something. But
Right, right. Yeah, I say perhaps next time, if we need to pick one at random, let's just use ChatGPT to do it.
Yeah,
Say, hey,
yeah, yeah.
pick a random one, and then
Perfect.
and maybe if we want to even get more into it, we could say, hey, pick a good painting that will be good for this genre, and
Mhm.
then bam, that's the genre, or that's the
yeah,
basis
so
of
much
the
better
thing.
than video though. I
Yeah, video is getting stale, man. It's just the crappy videos are just like, it
Yeah.
gets old, man. It gets old. So
Yep.
this is inspiring.
Cool.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
So 2:30 next week, Composer Dome episode 17.
I will see you then.
Catch you then, sir. To the
Have
future.
some art ready.
stream. Oh, I will. I will.
All
To the
right.
future.